have guests downstairs, my bed and breakfast guest, but without breakfast. It's a friend of my lodgers staying overnight tonight. So I love when I have people in the house. This is my new, very simple and cheap rack light to put my bag, the one that I talked about on my last on my video or on my previous video, where I needed a place to put all my bags that I would wear in 3 months, seasonal. Like, even though I live in a tropical country, but I like to divide my things to be worn every 3 months. Crazy, isn't it? But you know what? I don't get bored with my clothes and shoes and bags, because every 3 months I keep on changing, regardless of the climate that I live in here. So this is my old blouse. I've had it for like 6 years or 7 years, maybe 6 years, maybe 5 years. I forgot. It's the 31st of November. Wow, how time flies. My God, you know, I'm here already in December 28th. I would be 2 years living in Indonesia already. Can you believe it? And I came here just to stay for a while and then return to Milan. But you know, I always leave it to the universe, and the universe doesn't allow me to go back to Milan, but to stay here. So let's talk about the universe, okay, with this vlog, because you know, I don't plan when I make my video. Why? Because I don't consider myself a lecturer or a teacher or maybe in English language, perhaps, yes, just to help here and there. But I don't pretend to know everything 100%. I'm just sharing whatever I happen to know and whatever I have experienced in my life that I have good results with, or whatever that I learned from my failures as well, you know. So I'm sharing them with you so that you could avoid. But you know, to each their own. So I'm not trying to tell people how to live how I like. So anyway, yeah, the universe is God, you know. You can call whoever that you believe in your personal life that guides you, because there's always a guidance for me from the universe. I can tell so many stories, but anyway, this is the vlog. Actually, that should be a relaxing vlog, because it's a Saturday today, so actually I don't want to be too serious. However, you know, things like, let's say, when was that, the other day? No, actually last week, you know, I'm a very, what do you call that? I'm very comfort oriented or orientated person. So even though, for example, I have like 3 or 4 scissors in this house, you know, but I do want to have another scissor on my buffet, so that I could cut the packet of the coffee whenever I make my cappuccino. But actually I have the scissor in like what, 2 meters from the buffet, but I like to keep one in the drawer. So what did I plan last week? Okay, I'm going to buy another scissor. And can you believe it? Actually, I have a lot of scissors in Milan, because you know, when we were in Saudi Arabia, I bought quite a few. But anyway, lo and behold, when I went to the my desk, you know, my office desk or my office corner in the house, and I was opening a drawer looking for something else, and then, even though it has its own scissor also on the table, and then I found a small scissor in the drawer. So you see, I took that immediately and then put it on the buffet so that I could open the packet of my cappuccino. So you see, it's saved. I don't need to buy another scissor. Things like that, you know, the synchronicities, the serendipity, things like that. I love this kind of stories. So that's one. And then what else? You know, whenever I want to do something and then maybe it's a bit difficult, I would try my best, you know, because I love challenges. And then if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. For example, I already mentioned the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, it didn't want to open because suddenly it asked for a password, and I was a little bit pissed, to tell you the truth. But then, I tried again. It couldn't. Okay, I left it at that. But yeah, so I tried again, and you know what? I kept guessing the password that it was asking, and I got it. So now my spreadsheet it's open. I love it. Things like that. Sometimes, yes, there are times when you just don't have you just don't go on anymore. Don't force it. If it can't, it can't. But in the meantime, you can try your best. Okay, try your best. Take it as a challenge, and after that, if it can't, it can't. Okay, another example, but actually I have quite impressive examples when it comes to how the universe works. But I think I would just make it a separate video for it, for you, so that it could go more in depth. But just as an example, I could give you, let's say, many years ago when I was living in Singapore, and I walked into an office, and the man was Italian, and he was the boss, and I had to wait because he was talking. He was picking up a phone call from his son, his young little son, maybe 4 years old, and the way he spoke to the son, it was so tender, and I was thinking, wow, so cute, so tender, how Italian man is when they speak. So anyway, that was all. It just crossed my mind very fleetingly. It wasn't like I was there and just thinking, and then the day after think again. I never thought of Italian men. I never thought of saying or wanting or going after Italian men. It just crossed my mind about that man speaking so tenderly to the son. Years later, fast forward, I got married to a man that is even more tender than that, an Italian man, and from Milan. I met an Italian man, and I got married to this Italian man for many years. So that's one, just a fleeting story of how the universe works, where my point is that, sometimes you just long for something, or you just wish for something, but it just comes fleetingly. Let it be. Don't dwell or delve into how to want an Italian man, or how to want to make money, or how to want to live in many countries. I don't do that. I never did that. And so that is one of the stories again. And then another thing, I never thought of, one day I want to travel. Oh, I would love to travel. That's my goal. Never did that, and I traveled a lot. Never dreamt like, oh my God, one day I'm going to be living in UK, or I'm going to be living in so many countries. Never did that, and I did. So I don't know what it is, I don't know what it is, but all I know is always have a good, pure heart. Sincere, pure heart, to a point where sometimes people take advantage of you, or people just being fake towards you. That's their problem, not your problem. But what you have to do for yourself is just be kind and nice and pure and sincere, That's all. And have common sense. That's another thing. Common sense and intelligence. Not necessarily to be intellectual, but intelligence. So that's my advice to you, even though I told you I come from a big family. So I have had that life also, which I enjoyed, but I'm the kind of person who loves living by herself without anybody making noise and, being rowdy, and or every day I would have to, watch and hear and listen to. So it is perfect now for me that my life comes to the stage where I live on my own. So that's one. Second, having children, I did. I have a daughter. That's fantastic, wonderful, who's so independent. And then third, what else? So that's why I always say I'm fulfilled, in a very humble way that I'm saying this. I don't feel like I have to obtain something anymore. Like, what family I did. Putting a child to school, educating a child, I did, So what else? Pension, I do now live on the pension of my late husband, thanks to him. House to own outright, I have. I ended up in my own country, where this country is so progressive in a way that you can find everything here more than Italy, as long as you are willing to pay double. There are here, so near Bali on top of that. So what more do I want? My family, yes, my extended family, they're here, they're around in Jakarta, but here it's not easy anymore to get together, since they have their own life and also they have work, and then the traffic jams, etc., etc. But we could always organize that, so that's not a problem. Can you see my rack for the bag? that's not bad, right? And as for friends, I do have friends, but I don't anymore have the time to attend events where I would have to, be very formal and starting to get to know a new person again, unless the new person is kind and invites me to go out and to meet. Yes, I would, if I have time and if I think there is some kind of maybe in common. And then I would meet, like I met a nice lady from New York just last week, and that I enjoyed very much. And also, I don't have the obligation anymore to go to events and to attend whatever gatherings with friends anymore. But I do have nice friends, and I do, make time for them whenever they're free, because they are very busy ladies. Whereas I'm not, because everything is centered around my house, my bed and breakfast business, my lodging business, my bamboo straws, which actually I've been very passive and aggressive, because I can't do everything myself by hand, since I prefer to take care personally to make sure that everything is good. Even though, maybe the first few supplies, they were not perfect, since it was my first time also to plunge into that kind of business. But other than that, I am here. So that's another thing. And then what else? Once in a while, I chat with my daughter, but my daughter also is busy in New York City or in New York. And then what else? What can I do? It's funny, because sometimes I would look at YouTube and they would say, this is what you have to do in your life. And then I would just click on it, and then they say, okay, this you have to save for retirement. But I have the retirement. You have to save to buy the house. But I have the house. You have to save to put your children in college. But I have done all that. Then you have to travel. But I have traveled. And you have to, try to get to know other culture. But I have done all that. So I am beyond grateful. And all this came without me, having an ambition and goal to reach certain dream. Never. It's all with the universe that I just follow, as long as, again, based on common sense. But it's the universe versus path, in my humble opinion. So that's all for today, my vlog. Just having a nice Saturday chat with you about the universe. And for a big fascinating story, I would make it maybe in one specific vlog for that, because I can't mix it all together by cutting all the experiences that I've had with the universe. Grazie, ciao ciao, arrivederci.